Welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. Today is February 18th, and we have a jam-packed hour of information for you guys today. But first, let me introduce myself. I am one of your co-hosts, Jen Neitzel. I'm the creator of Marketing for Notaries, and I am here with the one and only, the GOAT herself, Laura Beaver. Hi, Laura.
Good afternoon, all.
How are
Hope
you doing
everybody's
today?
super fine.
Good. I know most of the country is bracing for this serious cold weather that is headed our way. I don't think, are you guys getting any of that in California?
We had some cold weather, but
Yeah.
today's nice. I
Oh,
think it's at about
freezing here.
60 degrees, something like
Well,
that.
a special welcome to anyone who is joining us for the very first time. We are thrilled that you are here. This is such an important call that happens every week at this time. And I am also joined, Laura and I are joined today by two other people that we just could absolutely not do this call without. And that is Jen Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary. Hey,
Hi,
Jen.
everybody.
And Matt Miller, the president of the California League of Independent Notaries. Hi, Matt.
Hi, everyone.
Look at you getting everybody waving at you guys and stuff. You got your own little fan clubs out there, huh? We are going to talk to both Jen and Matt in just a couple of minutes. But first, we're going to start the way we always do, and that is with some announcements. So, just a reminder, we would love for you guys to turn your cameras on if you can. It's not a requirement, of course, but it does help us to get to know you a little better. So if you're able to turn your camera on, fantastic. If not, no explanation is necessary. We completely understand. And this call works kind of like an old-fashioned radio call-in show. You raise your virtual hand to ask us any questions about being the act of being a notary, your notary business, any of your marketing issues, any legal issues you might be looking at. We have experts to help answer all of this stuff. And all you have to do is raise your virtual hand. You'll find it at the bottom of your Zoom screen, little raise hand function to go ahead and get in line. If you guys want to start doing that now, it looks like Dee Dee's done that. Or no, Jill's got that up. Dee Dee had her hand up a few minutes ago. But Jill, we're going to get to your question in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about what is going on in the notary world. I want to remind everybody, no meeting bots are allowed on this call. With the number of people that joined, the meeting bots caused the recording to end early. So no more meeting bots. Sorry, I know it's a convenience for you, but the replay is available on the Marketing for Notaries YouTube channel. And Jen will post that link in the chat for you guys now. You can find all of the replays starting this year for 2025 on the Marketing for Notaries replay channel. We also have a form. If you're uncomfortable, maybe raising your hand and talking to people on a forum with this many folks, we get it. We have a form that you can submit your questions to, and that is the second place that we source questions from. First, always the audience. Second, the form. We do not encourage you to post questions in the chat. They get lost easily. There's a lot of chat going on, and it's hard for us to answer. So if you ask a question in the chat, you'll probably get a response from Jen Cooper that says, please raise your hand and ask. And that's just why, because it's really difficult for us to go back through all of the chat with as quickly as it moves to farm those questions. All right, there's some conferences coming up that I want to talk to you guys about. The first one is happening next month. I'm so excited about this. This is for all of our friends in the Pacific Northwest, or for those of us who just love being in the Pacific Northwest. It's the PNW Notary Meet and Mingle, and it's happening at the Mayflower Park Hotel Friday, March 14th, and starting at 5:30 p.m. for a happy hour. And then again on Saturday, all day learning with some great speakers, if I do say so myself. And that happens from 9 a.m. to 4:30. The link is in the chat to get registered for that, guys. It's a great conference, and I encourage you to go if you're able to. Our very own Jen Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary is hosting a free Chat GPT workshop. Everybody's talking about AI, you guys, and Jen has put together this cool workshop, totally free for you to show you how to best utilize ChatGPT in your business, how to use it for automation, for writing blog posts, all that cool stuff. So get registered for that. That's on Saturday, March 22nd, beginning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then, of course, we have the NNA conference that is literally right around the corner, Laura.
Yeah.
So excited. The four of us are going to be there, of course, Matt and Laura and Jen and myself. But I want to ask you guys, if you're going to the conference, drop me a one in the chat. I want to hear all about it. I want to see who's going to be there, who we're going to get to mingle with. Oh, yay. Oh, gosh. I finally get to meet some of you in person. This is very exciting. Let us know in the chat if you are coming just by dropping a one in there. Okay, we have, as you know, added a few new elements to this call, one of which is Jen Cooper's Mentoring Minute, which she brings us every Tuesday. So, Jen, take it away with your Mentoring Minute.
Thank you, Jen. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Today, I want to talk to you about customer service. Okay, when you arrive at a client's home for a notary signing appointment, you never really know what type of energy or attitude that you're going to be walking into. They could be stressed about the process. They could be worried or scared or excited. Your customer service skills in these moments aren't just nice to have. They're really essential to success as a mobile notary. I'm sorry, you guys, my nose is. But as mobile notaries, one of our most important roles that we facilitate is, and the honor of, is guiding people through significant life moments. So whether it's a first-time home buyer or someone signing healthcare directives at the end of their lives, your ability to put clients at ease and communicate clearly can make or break their experience. So strong customer service means, of course, being punctual, professional, and patient. It means explaining complex documents in simple terms without overstepping legal boundaries. But it also means maintaining a calm, reassuring presence, even when clients are anxious or rushed. Developing the skill of compassion is one of the most powerful customer service characteristics you can have, because you're dealing with human beings. They aren't paychecks, they are people. And if they're not your people, they are someone's people. So how we treat them really matters. It's not just to your business, but to the overall support and of the notary office. When clients leave me reviews or send me messages about how grateful they were for my kind and compassionate way of handling a signing appointment, that all by itself is worth way more than any amount of money to me. It makes them feel important, and in turn, it makes you respected and a favorite notary. So I'd like you guys to remember that your reputation as a mobile notary isn't built solely on technical skills. It's built on how you make your clients feel. So invest time in developing your customer service skills, your compassion, and your kindness. And you guys will see the returns in repeat business and referrals. And that is where the money really is.
Thank you so much, Jen. I loved that. Applause to you for that awesome reminder. That's what I love about your Mentoring Minute. And it's that it goes to that saying that I see frequently, like posted on Instagram and different places where I get inspirational messages about people may not remember your name, but they're always going to remember how you make them feel. And that is so true, to keep that in the forefront of your mind as a service-based business owner. Love that. Thank you, Jen. And another fun element that we have added to this call is the third week of every month, we have asked Matt Miller to give us a legislative update on what is going on out there in the notary world as far as laws go. And he is going to keep us informed and updated. So, Matt, take it away. Let us know what's going on.
Thanks, Jen. Let me go ahead and share my screen for today so we can take a close look at what I'm going to present. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by today. I've got some really fun stuff to talk about today that I think that you all will be very excited about. So far in 2025, believe it or not, 35 plus bills have been introduced that will directly affect notaries across the country. I don't have time to go over all of them, but if you are a CLIN member and if you missed the February roundtable, you can go take a look at those on the replay from our last roundtable. But real quick, I can tell you that 5 bills have been introduced related to identification, 3 bills requiring on-site notaries at places like hospitals, nursing homes, and banks. There are 3 bills mandating new journal requirements in several states. There is 1 new bill in Tennessee that will require mandatory education. Believe it or not, there are 3 states that still have not yet passed remote online notarization legislation. And then finally, everyone's favorite, there are six states this year who have introduced bills to increase their notary fee caps. So let's look at those. The first state is Connecticut. Senate Bill 1023, introduced by Senator Kissel, would increase the maximum fee for notarial acts from $5 to $10. And then if this bill is passed, it would take effect October 1st. Next up, we have New York. New York tried last year and they could not get their bill through. So they're back again this year. And this bill, Assembly Bill 3360, introduced by Assemblymember Levine, would raise the cap from $2 to $5. You know, guys, New York really needs this. The last time they raised their fee cap was 1992. So they could really use a little bump in their pay. Next up, New Mexico, Senate Bill 230, introduced by Senator Scott, would raise notary fee caps from $5 to $12 for jurats and acknowledgments. For copy certifications, from 50 cents to $1.20 per page, with a minimum total charge of $12. And additionally, this bill would increase the maximum technology fee notary can charge for electronic records like IPEN or RON from $25 to $60 outside of your notary fee. South Carolina has introduced House Bill 3190 by House Member Ligon. This would increase the maximum fee cap in South Carolina from $5 to $10. This bill would take effect once signed by the governor. The other one in New Mexico would take effect theoretically if passed July 1. And then in New York, that would take effect as soon as it was signed by the governor as well. North Dakota, Senate Bill 2144, introduced by Senator Klein, would authorize a notary who's doing remote online notarization to charge a technology fee, which currently North Dakota online notaries are prohibited from doing so. So this could make RON a little bit more profitable for North Dakota online notaries. If this bill's passed, it would take effect August 1 of this year. Also, we have South Dakota, House Bill 1192, introduced by Representative Roby, would entirely strike the cap. So if this bill were to pass, South Dakota would join the ranks of the 10 other states that allow their notaries to set their fees at will. And should this bill pass, it would take effect July 1, 2025. Now, I want to talk a little bit about something here, guys. This is a very unique opportunity for notaries to have direct influence in how much money you can charge. In other words, you can give yourself a raise if you get involved. New York, for example, like I said, they tried this last year. And the feedback that we all got from the legislature was that, well, not enough notaries made their voices heard, so it can't be that important, right? You guys aren't that serious, right? So what do? The first thing you should do, if you are a notary in one of these states, is share this news with your notary network. Inform your fellow notaries. Tell them what the bill is, what it will do, and then get going, guys. The last time that we increased notary fee caps in California, this was 2016, it took 1,100 notaries writing in, calling in, and showing up to get that bill to the governor's desk. So you guys need to get going and get involved if you want to give yourself a raise. Here's what you do. First thing you're going to do is go to myreps.datamade.us, and you're going to look up, by way of your address, who your state representatives are. Because remember, state notary law is a state issue. So don't mess around with your federal representatives. Don't worry about your local county representatives. You want to know who your state representatives are. You're then going to call and or write an email message to those representatives. This website I mentioned will give you contact information, sometimes multiple channels, even social media channels, so you can tweet at them or at them on Facebook and other channels. You want to call and or write an email to the bill sponsor or the author. That's why I listed the person's name who introduced the bill. You want to call that office or write them a letter and say why you support this bill and how it could help you as a notary be a better notary or help you better serve the public. If you have concerns about a bill, maybe the fee's too high, maybe the fee's too low, don't just say you oppose it. Tell them why you oppose it and offer a solution. And then, of course, set up a meeting with your representatives in their local district offices. Go and meet with them in person. There is nothing more powerful than a face-to-face conversation with either the representative or senator themselves or their staff. This is how we make this an urgent issue instead of just hoping that these bills will pass. Because while it is, therapeutic to send up a prayer, this stuff isn't just going to happen because you want it to. You need to get involved. So I hope that a lot of you will, and I hope that a lot of states pass fee increase bills this year because it is certainly warranted. We all have worked through the pandemic. We all worked through the recent inflationary cycle, all the while absorbing most of our increasing costs. And this will help to make your business a little bit more profitable and might even attract more people to the notary profession. So guys, if you want to make some more money and you are in one of these 6 states, now's your chance to make your voice heard, get involved, and give yourself a raise. That is the February Legislative Minute.
Thank you so much, Matt. Very informative. And I love how you shared with everyone what they can do, where specifically they can go, what they should write about, and how an increase in fee is warranted at this point. So thank you so much for sharing that. And if you guys have any questions, I know that Matt makes himself available to notaries because he is so passionate, obviously, about what he does. So please feel free to reach out to Matt directly. Matt, maybe you want to put your email in the chat if you don't mind?
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Jill, I'm almost there. I promise. I know you've got a question. I just want Laura to make an announcement about something we've been chatting about on this call for the last couple of weeks. So Laura, you want to share with us the latest update on the passports?
Right. So many of us as notaries are called out to notarize a form. The form number is D as in David S3053. It's called the consent for issuance, consent for a U.S. passport issuance to a child or a minor. All right, and this has been around, and they just keep updating it every couple of years. Well, this last update is a ringer. So there's an oath where the signature goes, but down where the notary would sign, there's no place really to put a stamp, not even a mini stamp. There's like no room at all. And so we've been chatting about how do you deal with this form, these federal forms. One, I talked with the NNA hotline and they said, hey, it's got an oath on it, attach a jurat, since you can't deal with the wording on the document. And then Matt shared with me that at the National Association Secretaries of State Conference, NAS, they discussed this form. And what is Bill Fritzland's title, Matt? Do you remember what his title is?
He is, I don't remember what his title is, but he oversees authentications.
Yes, he does. So in any case, the determination out of that conference was that all notaries should attach jurats if they cannot fill out whatever's on the form. That's the right act. So to avoid rejection. And I think, oh, Jen put the link in if you want to see the form.
Thank you so much, Laura. That's kind of been an ongoing discussion, so it's nice to hear that there's been some resolution to this issue. So, lastly, I have some very exciting news to share. You may or may not have seen if you're on Facebook, but we have, as TNT, a new Facebook page, you guys. So we would love for you to follow that page. You can access the form. I believe I uploaded that. Now I'm going to make myself a note to make sure I double checked. If you want to ask a question on the form, but there's great people involved in it. There's already great advice. It's honestly what we did was we took the Notary Business Builder Facebook page that Bill and Laura and I had been monitoring and been admins for over the last 3 years. And we went ahead because there was so much great advice and things already on there. We just transitioned it to the Tuesday Notary Titans Facebook page. So now we all have a place to hang out in between our Tuesday meetings. So we are looking forward to seeing you guys there. Go check that out today. Okay, Jill, you've been waiting so patiently. And anybody else who has questions, please be sure to raise your virtual hand right at the bottom of your screen. Jill, tell us what state you're in because I've forgotten and what your question is.
I'm in Austin, Texas.
That's right.
So I have 2 questions. I think the short question that I can start with is, if I were to approach hospitals to offer notary services and offer a free workshop to sort of discuss how my medical background and being a notary would actually serve their patients really well, like who would I speak to? Like hospitals are large, there are a lot of departments, and I'm not quite sure how that would work.
Laura, do you want to take this one since you are
Yeah.
so adept at this?
Director of Social Services and Director of Nursing are the 2 that I dealt with.
Yeah, it is a little intimidating thinking like you walk into this giant hospital and you're like, who do I reach out to? But yeah, social services and then
Okay,
I guess
great.
as high up as you can get in the nursing department after that. But I personally, I started with social services. Laura, I think you said you did too. You had talked to,
Yeah,
that's where
but
you.
depending on the hospital, it isn't always social services. They're
Yeah.
under whoever's the director of nursing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
either
help,
one
Jill?
should get you where you want to go.
Yeah, very much. Thank you. So my other question I would like to have wrapped up with some like encouragement. So I'm excited but nervous. I have a meeting with an estate planning attorney tomorrow to see how we can partner together. And it's 15 minutes. I get 15 minutes. And I want to really utilize that 15 minutes in the most efficient way possible. Right. And I've taken the course and I've like been reviewing everything, but that short window, I'm just like, oh, I want to get this right. And I
Yeah.
could use a little coaching and
Sure.
encouragement.
That is
because
why we are here. Laura, do you have anything you want to say
Well,
to Jill?
I think I would start after my introduction of who I am and that I love doing this kind of service is I'd want to know about his service. What kind of clients does he serve? Is he building into the long-term relationships? I think I want to ask questions so that I can understand what his business is like. Does he have a lot of people? Is he doing it in-house now himself, or is he's got people doing it for him? I think I want to collect as much information so I understand what his business is about before I can really offer anything.
Great
Okay.
advice. And I think, Jill, a lot of times people think that they have to go in with a, you know, a 15-minute meeting and they have to go in with a pitch ready. That is the last thing anybody wants to spend 15 minutes listening to. Going in and Laura said it, Jen Cooper put it in the chat, finding out about this person's business, because you may find out that he only does, and I'm just using this as an example, he only does one estate plan a month. And so you may determine this guy's not your ideal client. Maybe he doesn't pay you until 60 days after. That's his process, 60 days after the signing, and that doesn't work for you. So by asking questions, what you're doing is seeing if you guys would be a great match. And you don't necessarily have to go in and force this person to give you a decision in that 15 minutes. But if you go in with the, hey, I want to learn about your business, I want to see if we can help each other out. Start asking the questions. That 15 minutes is going to go by in the blink of an eye. And before you leave, let I think you said it was a him, know that you are if you're genuinely interested, let him know that you're interested in working with him to help him save time and provide the convenience for mobile notary services for his estate planning clients. Of course, you want to tell him you're certified, I believe, Jill, aren't you? And you said
Yes.
CNT, yeah. You want to tell him about, you know, your certification with that. Please don't use the terminology CNTDA. This goes for all of you guys. When you're talking to anybody, do not use acronyms. Spell it, say it out so they understand. And really try to genuinely get to know him. You're either going to discover like, oh, I don't know if I want to work with this guy, or wow, this could be really great. And if you're feeling that from all the questions you've asked, if you're feeling like, wow, this could be a match, he's going to be feeling that too. And then you can set up a second meeting to get a little more detailed in how you can help each other. Because in 15 minutes, you know, you're just going to be skimming the surface and getting and he's doing the same thing with you. It's like an interview almost. Like, let's just see if we like each other. And then if we do, let's meet and talk more about how we can help each other in our businesses. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I've already been, looking at her social media posts and her website. And we did actually meet in person. That's how I got connected at a networking event.
Fabulous.
And so she was very excited. She was like, "Oh, I'm always looking for notaries." I'm like, "Great."
Great. Go in
So,
there and just, like I said, ask the questions, find out what you can about her business, how she runs it, the amount of business she does in your area of specialty, obviously. And treat it like a quick coffee date, because that's really kind of what it is. And then later, you guys can either email about it or have another meeting about ways you can help each other. And hopefully
great.
that takes the pressure off you a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I felt really fine about it until today.
Yeah.
Then I suddenly got a little
Sure. Is
nervous.
this your first time doing this?
So I've I've spoken, I've been recently with the networking, I've been talking to more and more lawyers, but this
Mhm.
is my first official
So of
meeting to
course,
get
your
connected.
your brain is telling you like, whoa, because you've never done it before. That's your brain's job to protect you, right? It's telling you to kind of just hold on a minute, and that's where the nerves are coming from. So just remind your brain, like, this is what I need to do to build my business. I'm going to go in there with a big attitude. And instead of going, I can't ever say this word right. Everybody makes fun of catastrophizing. Did I say it right?
Yes.
I always want to say catastrophizing or something like that. You know what I mean? Um, do that in reverse. And what I mean by that is, instead of going, oh my God, what if I totally like mess up and say the wrong thing? Start saying, what if I go in there and we have a powerful connection? What if I go in there and she really likes what I have to offer and this works out well? What if I go in there and I am sitting down for 15 minutes with who is going to be my future absolute best client? Instead of going through all the negative stuff that happened, because let's be honest, at our age, we've done that enough. So maybe try and go about it a different way. And that's going to help you a little bit with those nerves because it's natural to feel nervous about something that you've never done before.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for bringing that up. Great question. That applies to so many things, not just a one-on-one meeting, but even having the nerve to raise your hand and ask a question on this call when you're not used to being in a big group of people. So remember, guys, our brains do this to us for a reason, to protect us, right? But you don't need protection on this call. We're nice for the most part, I think. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you so much.
Alina in Texas, what is your question for us today?
Hello.
Hi.
So regarding loan signing packages,
Yeah.
the Patriot Act form, the NNA advises not to sign that form as a notary public because it's not a document you're notarizing. But I had a signing service tell me she wanted me to put notary public, but I always put notary signing agent. What's your take?
Laura?
You don't put notary public unless you are notarizing a signature. That's when you use your title. So that document, you use the title for which you're using to orchestrate the entire signing, which is signing agent. I remember a time when there was some pushback on that, and I just said, no, it's not allowed for me to do that. And then I put the title that I normally put and kept moving. I'm not aware. I mean, they didn't say, well, we're not going to hire you again, or we're make you do it over. They said, oh, okay.
Well, this signing service, she is based out of Texas, and she said that if it gets kicked back, you're going to have to do it again, and you're going to have to put the title notary public.
Well, she is just trying to push you to say, well, if it gets rejected, you'll have to go out and do it again. And what notary wants to do it for free again? So she's trying to scare you. That's just a scare tactic to get you to do something that you know is not right.
Okay, thanks. I mean, I did send her, what the NNA provided me, that it's not advisable. And she says the NNA is not always right.
Well, and I'm going to say NNA isn't always right, and NNA isn't the Secretary of State, but what does your own state law say about
They say that I talked to them today because there's nothing in the statute, and they said they do not advise on any document that is
so
not
your
being notarized.
Secretary of State, your boss, said the same thing. So I wouldn't invoke the NNA's name. I'd invoke my Secretary of State has advised me this is not appropriate. Use of
Well, they didn't advise me that. They just said that they won't advise on a document that doesn't need notarization.
Matt, you had something you wanted to add too. I think, Matt, you had.
They're not going to tell you a yes or no answer by the NNA or by the Secretary of State's office because they're not your legal counsel. But listen to what they're saying. We do not advise you use your official title outside of your official capacity. And quite frankly, that's a RULANA violation. The Revised Uniform Law on Notarial Acts, you may not use your official title outside of your official capacity as a notary public.
And Alina, I think it has to be said that we think of people in a title office, we know most of them are notaries. And we make this assumption, because they're also notaries, that they know notarial law and they understand why you would need to push back on something like that. But the truth of the matter is, that's not always the case. Those notaries in the title office, they got their stamp because that's what their job required them to do. They don't come to this call every week, right? They're not rubbing elbows with Laura Bewer and Matt Miller, and they don't know this stuff. And so part of our job is she's worried about pushback she's getting from the person at the loan company, the mortgage company, who's checking it off and saying, oh, this person signed incorrectly. But that's their version of the story that's not legal, right? So if this person, this is where you ask yourself, if she's going to treat you like this and continue to push back on you, this is where you kind of ask yourself, like, is this the kind of place I want to be working for? Because Laura's absolutely right. She was almost threatening you in a way, like, well, you're going to have to go back out there if this gets kicked back and it's wrong. Because she's just worried about the funding date. The guy at the mortgage company is just worrying about ticking all the boxes and making sure everything's signed and it matches and looks good so that it gets funded on their end. And nobody but you is worried about making sure that the notarial certificates and the pieces of the document package that needs to get signed are done according to law. Because the truth is, in a court of law,
It's on you.
yeah, it's on you. Does that make sense, Alina?
It does. It just, she was just so adamant that she
Yeah.
and I wasn't debating with her. I was, giving her my take on it and the NNA's take on it. And she's like, I've never had anybody debate with me before. And I said, I'm not debating. I just want to do things the correct way.
Yeah. And you have to think she's getting a paycheck. She has to do what her, people are telling her, and is probably just blindly doing it, obviously, whether she knows whether it's legal or advisable or not. But it's like what Laura said, if your boss, the Secretary of State, does not advise on signing your name as a notary public without it being on an official certificate, that's all you need to say. So hopefully that's helpful, Alina.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your input.
You are so welcome. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a great conversation.
And I just want to add to that I've been doing this for 21 years and I've had 0 rejections because I use signing agent or notary signing agent instead of notary public. 0. I have done over 30,000 notarizations in my career. So I think she was just trying to get you to do what she wanted you to do.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of notaries probably on this call as well as out there in the world who refuse to do it that way as well.
Yep, absolutely. And Laura, it looks like we've got another Laura.
I'm sorry to interrupt on that. I know I had my hand raised, but I think this is Jeanette. But before I forget, I wanted to mention on Alina's thing, would that be a good opportunity there for somebody to say, like, send them something via email, right? Saying this is where I'm pulling this from. And then maybe turn it around and say, I would love to have some time to maybe go into your office and give me like 15 minutes to give you some tips about how notaries are conducted. Kind of like turn it around and maybe give her time with that title company and her expertise.
I don't think, I mean, you could if you wanted to. I don't necessarily think that's the point. She's not, the person at the title company doesn't even guaranteed, if Alina was to call her right now and say, are you a notary? And do you know who governs notarial law in the state of Texas? The woman would probably say, what? Right? Like, you can take it that far if you want to. That's a business call, in my opinion. I don't know, Laura, do you have anything to?
Yeah, I don't know that I would do that either.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like going a little
more to the wound,
try and prove your point. So, but let's get to Laura's question. Thank you for waiting, Laura. What do you have for us today? Tell us what state you're calling from.
Hi, I'm calling from California.
Awesome.
Hi, so I just had a question about marketing direct, and I just kind of wanted to know what the appropriate thing is to say when you're inside the title company or the escrow office and you're marketing direct to them and they say, oh, we use superlative signing service, or, oh, we use signing order, and that just kind of like a flat, we use a signing service to find you guys. At that point, should I just like kind of gracefully, say okay? Because I don't want to be rude and impose on trying to ask them how they do things or anything like that. But is there an appropriate response you can recommend if
Yeah,
not?
absolutely. And I will say, I learned this from one of our TNT regulars for the last few years. That's Michelle Klempner with True Blue Signings in Florida. And she has a great response to that, which is, well, of course you do. I'm sure your office, is very efficient in that way. If anything pops up and you need a notary for something else outside of that, I'd love to talk to you. Do you mind if I stay in touch with you? And
Okay.
then collect their business cards so that you can stay in touch, and
Okay.
make sure that once a month you are providing some kind of value packed email and to them. And that
Mhm.
does, and only if they opt in, meaning they've agreed that they could stay in touch with you.
Mhm.
And value packed email doesn't mean like, oh, our notary laws are changing in our state, or, we have the opportunity to, make more money because they're talking about raising our notary fees. They don't want to hear about that. I'm talking about providing value to the person that the group of people that you want to market your services to. And that could be your referral list for great places to eat in your community. It could be community events or things that are happening. It could be an estate planning seminar that is coming up that you want to share. It might be, a great article that you found about tips for busy moms in the workplace or something like that, that provides some value outside of the notary world, because trust me, we're the only ones that think that's interesting. To
Yeah.
hear about it. The place where, because this is my specialty, right? So the
Mhm.
place where I've noticed that people drop the ball is on the follow-up.
Mhm.
And you have to know when you're doing your direct marketing, I call them pop-ins. You have to know that not everybody is going to want to engage in a conversation with you. And they may just say, to save themselves time, we use a service,
Yeah.
right? So acknowledge that, congratulate them for being efficient, let them know you're out there, and then ask if you can stay in touch. But that's just the beginning.
Mhm.
That's step one. Step two is following up with a value-packed email every single month for those folks on your prospect list, because it takes up to 14 times for people to finally start trusting you.
Mhm.
So when you send that first one and you don't hear back, don't take them off your list, right? You want to keep reaching out to them. And then you also want to find ways to connect with them. Step three is finding ways to connect with them on social media, and also show your value on social media. And then you want to find out where they network, and you want to go there,
Mhm.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is part of the 5-point marketing system that we talk about at Marketing for Notaries, you guys. This system works. It's worked for me. It's worked for so many of you that are in the audience. And I know where people drop that ball is following up, and they get frustrated. But if you work all of these 5 steps together, popping in, following up, monthly shout out, social media, and networking, after about 12 months of doing this regularly, Laura, you're
Mhm.
going to have plenty of people on your client list.
Okay, as I'm ahead of myself. You're right. I need to be
Yeah.
patient and humble. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You're just planting little seeds. So get out there, and it's also a numbers game. Get out there and plant as many seeds as you can. And if you need some marketing support, come visit me over at Marketing for Notaries. We've got all kinds of stuff over there to help you out. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Got it. Laura, I was just talking about how folks can connect with me outside the call at Marketing for Notaries. How can they connect with you outside of this call?
So there's a couple ways. One is I have a call similar to this, a little different, smaller, and it's on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. and Matt Miller co-hosts with me on that call called Laura's Inner Circle. And if you want to meet me over there on Saturday mornings, that'd be a great place. And the other way is going to be if you need a one-on-one 15-minute, you've got a question, you need a direction, you need a resource. And that would be my calendar address, calendly.com/my last name, Beworth.
And those links are in the chat for you guys if you need them. And I highly recommend Laura's Saturday morning call. Laura, I always get great feedback about that call. So thank
And they're
you for
both
doing
free,
that.
guys.
Yeah, free is my favorite price.
Get the free when you can.
Savannah in Florida, what's your question for us? Savannah, you're on mute.
I could not get back to the mute button fast enough.
That's okay.
It kind of goes along with actually what we've been talking about. I had two of the strangest interactions this week. And I was going to ask, I don't know, I've been doing this technically for a year, but I haven't been really doing it until the last few months. So,
Okay.
I had one lady reach out to me wanting to do if I could do a remote online notarization for something already signed. And I'm like, I can't do that. And I think that was true. I hope I didn't lie to her.
No, I mean, well, the form itself was already signed.
Yeah, one of the signers had already signed their part. And I was like, I don't think I can do that. She
And they
wasn't
do
going to
that
be available
acknowledgement in
either.
Florida.
No,
Matt,
if there was an I mean, first of all, if there was another signer and that signer was already taking care of it, doesn't matter. You're there to take care of the person in front of you now.
Well, it was for like a car title and they both had to sign it. And one of them already signed it without it being notarized.
No, then I don't believe
Okay.
that you can do that.
Well,
I thought so. And then I was like, did I lie?
well, Savannah, Matt has something he wants to add to that too. Matt, go ahead.
if I think the car title is an acknowledgement in Florida, so they could pre-sign it before meeting with you, but they still have to meet with before you, either be by online
They
or
both
in person.
have to be there. Some states have a requirement where the buyer and the seller have to do it at the same time. They both have to appear.
Oh, I'll have to look at that.
Yep,
So
look
take
at
a look at
your
it. There are some states that have DMV rules about title transfers. And I don't know
Okay.
Florida's in particular, but
That's good to
anybody you're
know.
gonna
That's something I'll
notarize
look at.
for, anybody you're going to notarize for needs to be in front of you. And if it's an acknowledgement, then they don't necessarily have to sign it in front of you, but you have to take their acknowledgement that they did so.
And I
Okay.
think
Not a Ron,
Michelle-
you do it as a Ron, Savannah.
What was that?
Did you do that as an RON?
It was gonna be, but once she said that the other signer wasn't available and had already signed, but it wasn't notarized, I was just I didn't know what to do. So,
well, better to decline it if
Yeah.
you don't know what to do, right? So
Right.
I feel like you made the right call there. And Michelle Klempner has something she wants to add as well. Michelle, just Savannah, do you know Michelle Klempner?
I don't think so.
Anytime I have a question about anything in Florida, she's one of the handful of people I call in Florida. So
Oh, sweet.
Michelle, what do you have to say about it?
I'll share my contact information, but I wanted to add to the question about the document already being signed when it comes in. So obviously, if the Notarial Act is an acknowledgement, it can be signed ahead of time. But when you're in the RON environment, in order for that document to have a digital footprint, it must include an electronic signature. So if they've already signed it, then we would give them a field to sign it again electronically. So once the document is populated and if someone or even the signer or the notary wants to check that digital footprint, that all signatures will appear.
Okay, I appreciate that. That's good to know.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Get in touch with Michelle, Savannah. She's going to put her information in there. I'm telling you, she's just a wealth of information. And did you say you had a second question for us as well?
Yeah. So one other one was that in Florida, we have to have the 9 items in our notarial certificates. And this one was missing 2. And I was like, hey, I can either write them in or attach my certificate. And she was asking me if I could just fill theirs out and then also attach the certificate. And I was like, no, the point is I can't fill that one out, I think. So that's what I told her. And again, I was hoping that I was correct. And then she said that no one that she had done signings with in Florida had pointed that out to her before, and that they do them all the time. And it must be a new thing. And I didn't know what to say. I was just like, I'm sorry.
No, that was correct. It's been around for a few years already when they had their last update and they added those elements. 5 years, Michelle. So it's been around for a while. And just because other notaries aren't paying attention to the details of their certificate doesn't make it right. We hear this from signing services all the time. Oh yeah, all the other notaries do it.
Yep.
No, they don't all do it. You may have some who are not paying attention, but not this notary. And you're right. The reason is if it's not compliant, you just don't fill it out. You could have added it to make it compliant, or you could have added your own, but you're not going to fill out a non-compliant certificate and add your own.
Good to know that I made a couple good decisions this week then.
Sure did, Savannah. Way to go. Thanks for the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And Joanne in Washington. Hello, Joanne.
She's a regular on Saturdays.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Couldn't
How
find
you
them to
doing?
mute. Just to follow up, Jen, what you were stating, that person that was walking in with the, oh, can we leave our business card? Can we ask them? Well, you use a signing service, but yeah, any other time, if you need someone for a notary, is it okay to leave a business card?
Absolutely. You should.
Okay. And follow up with
Absolutely,
emails.
because, yeah, they might get that. They might call that signing service and find out that nobody's available when they need it, or they don't work outside this, whatever, there could be myriad of reasons why it wouldn't work. Absolutely leave the business card. Absolutely ask if you can stay in touch. I mean, you're talking about just sending one email a month to them. It's no sweat off their back, right? But yeah, don't waste the opportunity, Joanne.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
Felicia.
Sometimes
She's
I spend
Florida.
money like a drunken sailor, and sometimes I'm as tight as Dick's hat band. My question is, I have Foxit Pro for my PDFs, but the drawback is you can only have it on one machine. I've got 3 computers sitting in front of me right now, plus the one at home. But Adobe is more expensive. I mean, what do I do? What do I do about a PDF
I paid
editor?
the subscription.
Foxit was a one-time purchase for $179 about 4 years ago. So
You're using Fox so you can edit them, correct?
yep.
So you can do the same thing in Canva. It'll tear a PDF apart and you can edit every single field.
Well, there you go. And I already paid for
Canva.
Canva, so there you go.
Not a
Thank you,
Canva
Matt.
user.
Uh,
That's why I use it.
Love me some Canva. Love me some
Ask the hard
Canva. Does that help,
questions here.
Felicia? She's
That
got
was
it, Joanne.
it.
Great idea, Matt.
Thank you. This is the power of this
And
call.
this is
Tell
the
you what.
power of having 3 or 4 people, put their heads together, either because they're in a different state or because they go about it a different way.
That's exactly right. Joanne, did you have another question for us?
Oh, didn't put my hand down, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No, I just wanted to make
There's
sure.
Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. What's your question?
Hi, everyone. I just kind of wanted to comment back on the notary for the Patriot Act. I usually write notary signing agent. Is
Yeah.
that okay if I don't write notary public, but just notary signing agent?
Yeah.
So that might have
that way.
sufficed. That might have sufficed that lady, I guess, because I've done Texas and I never had a problem.
Well, I think that's what she was planning to do, Melissa.
Oh, okay.
The issue, that's what she was going to do. That's not what the signing service wanted.
Yeah.
Okay.
They wanted her to put notary public on there, but yeah.
Awesome.
All right,
Okay.
guys. What a great call today,
Yeah,
Laura.
we
We
are
had some
almost there.
fabulous questions, didn't we? We are almost out of time, you guys. So before we go, I hope you guys will all take a minute, hop on over to Facebook and join the TNT group. I want to explain, this occurred to me after I said it, and we had started answering questions. The group is set to private, so you're going to have to ask to join. And I'll let you in, don't worry. I'm keeping it that way because I know that sometimes Facebook groups can, what's the word I'm looking for? Get nasty.
Corrupt.
Corrupt. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Corrupt. That's a good word. Laura and I both have access. Jen Cooper has access as an administrator. Matt has access as an administrator. So as we are on Facebook during the day, we will let you in. Give us up to 24 hours, guys, please. We will definitely let you in, but we really want to try and keep it a positive, safe space for us to commiserate between calls. And you want to be sure that you use the email you use to register for TNT. That way we know it's you. And it is, thank you, Jen's putting comments in here for me to remind me that you can't join with a business page. It has to be your personal page, okay? We are looking forward to interacting with you now on Facebook in between calls and keeping this good feeling going. So if you need a boost or you're looking for an answer to a question, don't expect it to happen right away. That's what this call is for, but it will happen. So Laura, with all that said, would you like to offer us up a little bit of Tuesday wisdom and close us out for the day?
I don't know if I have any Tuesday wisdom.
You always have wisdom.
I always have wisdom. You know, I was thinking about the different kinds of signings that we do as mobile notaries and what's my favorite one and why. And my favorite one is Living Trust. Of all of them right now, location is hospitals, but the type of signing. And if you're not doing Living Trust signings yet, then you might want to be thinking about that because it is comparable to loan signings in terms of financial. Actually, for most, it's better than loan signings. And the number one reason, you guys could put it in the chat if you want, what would be your number one? My number one is I don't have to print so many damn pages, right? 150 to 200 pages per set, right? I don't have to do that in Living Trust assignments. And as I had that thought as I was driving to come to this call today about how I either take a binder with me or they already have it there. And I don't have to do it. It's all nice and neat and tidy. It's all in order. It's always in the same order. It's state level, which means that it's almost always going to be my certificates or almost always going to be right. I mean, easy peasy. So if you're looking for something to complement what you do already and you aren't doing that, you might want to take a look at that as another line of revenue to expand your business. There you go.
Love it. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.